Hello everybody again. I just thought I'd do a recap on working on this Citroen DS3 the video I posted the other day there. You see it's a 2011 model, the 1.6, and the engine code is 5FS. So what it was, there was a misfire, a distinct misfire, and we were trying to track that down. So when we went in, first of all, to have a wee look, that one came up. It was a P1339. It didn't actually specify this time, but that actually is a cylinder 3 misfire. But the first time it didn't specify it. Also came up with this code: misfire detected with low fuel. Now the display was actually flashing low fuel. It said it had only 18 miles left. So you were wondering, is this misfire being induced because of the low fuel, or was it a genuine just a misfire anyway? So I'll show you the next window here. So when you cleared the codes out, what came back immediately, believe it or not, was this, a U code, a CAN network with the BSI module, and then it said this P70, an ambient air temperature information from the BSI. So when we seen this, we were wondering, because the engine fan was running constantly, we thought, is this code causing the fan to run? Or is it, as we suspected, is because the fault engine light was flashing, and then this was its strategy, it was its default mode. It just puts the fan on whenever it detects a fault, and it was the latter. Whenever it detects a fault, it done that. So because there wasn't any information, I'll let you see some of this stuff here. There we go. Oops. Now that's actually modes, just normal OBD mode stuff. Let me see. That one there. Because there wasn't any data PIDs for misfire, you get everything under the sun bar misfire data PIDs in this car. You can see camshafts, throttle angle, airflow. Here's a funny one. Unprocessed reference air quantity. Never seen that before. If anybody understands that, chime in the chat. But so that was it. So what I decided to do, first of all, I thought I'd just go into the normal OBD side and we'd have a look at mode 6. So we suspected it was a coil because this was individual coils in this car, and we went into mode 6 and it kept coming up misfire. There we go, cylinder 4, and you can see it's this value here, the counts that increase. So what you got to do is you go into it, say cylinder 4, you could go into any cylinder you wanted, to come back out and go back in, and that refreshed the value, and that kept climbing. But no matter when we changed the coil, it kept going for cylinder 4. So we're like, this is a bit strange. So we just decided to no bother going down the road with mode 6 anymore. So we went back in and just looked at PIDs. So the way we got around it, as I said in the video, we looked here. Let me see. We'll go back. Let me take this back a bit. So we graphed the fuel injectors. And so you can see up here, we took engine speed, cylinder 1, cylinder 3 and cylinder 2. We don't actually need cylinder 4 for this. So as we're driving, we took it a drive, so you can see that we were 2,500 revs, etc. And the fuel gets up to about, we were actually going up a hill, so you get to about 14 milliseconds. And you can see here what falls out, it's injector cylinder number 1 fell out. So the reason that fell out in our theory was it was falling out because it detected the misfire and it was shutting fuel down to that cylinder to protect the catalytic converter. So, and the way that we know we've not got an injector, wiring problem, whatever, is what you do in this instance, you turn the car off and start it back up again, and this injector came right back up. So you knew then it was a PCM strategy to turn the injector off because of the misfire to protect the catalytic converter. So you can see we then said, look, the problem is on cylinder 1 and no cylinder 4, as mode 6 told us. So that got to the bottom of that. We changed out the coil, and that's exactly what it was. But I was also going to show you this in this car. This isn't really nothing to do with but the fault was, but I just thought it'd be a wee learning exercise. We were looking here at engine speed, the equivalency ratio for bank 1, sensor 1, oxygen sensor, and because this is a wideband sensor, it uses current, so you can see the milliamps. So when you rev the engine, you can see that there, the equivalency ratio goes up to almost 2. So that means that the engine is rich, and that's the way it should work. And you can see that actually the sensor starts pulling more current to keep it in what I think you call balanced or stoichiometric or 14.71 or whatever the correct air fuel ratio is. So, but what I thought was funny, see when it was revved up here, it didn't actually go rich at all there. So, but each time after that, it goes rich. So you rev it there, rev it there, rev it there, it goes rich. Now this car's actually no running along the road at this point. It's just sitting parked. But to me, every time you rev the car, it goes rich and it goes up to 2. So I thought that would be a good test. If you're wondering if you have a lean condition, a fueling condition, you take the car a run and you floor it, and it goes up to 2. So, well, you know you've got enough fuel. And if it stays low, well, there is a fuel starvation problem. But as I always say, if anybody has got any ideas or any, we all can learn together from this, just chime in the chat and we can take it from there. Anyway, thank you very much for listening. Cheers.